Welcome to Valor Virtue. I'm Jim Danielson. Today we're with Kristen Honaker, who does something here we're still trying to figure out. Before we explore your duties here, would you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, absolutely. So first off, I am the exhibit manager here. Although we do all wear many hats, I would say I'm just largely part of the curatorial team and help out with collections a lot at the moment. But yeah, so my background is fine art, education. I've taught art for a couple of years, and that's kind of a brief background. But I'm new to North Carolina, been here for about a year and a half. So
where are you from?
I'm from Texas.
Okay.
San Antonio, Military City.
Oh, nice. San Antonio. Yes. Don't they have that waterfront?
They do. They have the Riverwalk. That's like our claim to fame.
Yeah. Actually, I was there one time, and I thought I went into a Catholic church that supposedly was the oldest still functioning Catholic church in the United States.
Okay.
Gets hot and humid there.
It does. It gets hot and humid here too, but sure. It gets up into the 110s, 115 sometimes down there. So I don't miss that. That's for sure.
Where'd you go to school?
So I did my undergrad at University of Texas, San Antonio, and then I did my master's in London at University College London.
Yes, you know there's a question coming about that.
I do.
I don't know just exactly when we're going to get to it. But, so you're in your master's, it's like art and education, but not art education.
Right. So it's very niche. It's art and design in education. So it's really great because it takes people from all different backgrounds. You could be a teacher, you could be just an artist, you could be a fashion designer, anything really. And you're taking that education that you've had previously and you're learning to apply that to different institutions, museums, schools, galleries, all that kind of stuff. So it was a really interesting program and it gave me a really wide education, which was great.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Do you think we can accurately call it applied liberal arts?
I think so. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, it used to be this concern whether you could have something called applied philosophy. And there was a famous essay that was circulating years ago called Does Applied Philosophy Rest on a Mistake? And but this actually sounds like it's a going thing, you know, that
Yeah, it's really unique because you can apply it to so many different things. And I wasn't sure what to expect going in because my undergrad was just fine art. And then I also minored in art history. So it was very focused. You know, I learned traditional art, painting, drawing, photography, film photography, just all different sorts of mediums. And it was very focused on art.
That's really interesting because you know that some people might get like a Bachelor of Fine Art in music.
Correct.
Or a Bachelor of Fine Art in dance or something like that. But it sounds like you're a generalist. Correct.
So at my school, you could do a BA, Bachelor of Arts, or you could do a BFA, which was Bachelor of Fine Arts. So if you did your BFA route, you did have to choose a focus.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't sure what I wanted my focus to be. So I just thought, well, I'll just try everything until I figured it out. It was great. It was such a wonderful experience. And it really just catapulted me into figuring out what I really was interested in. And I loved art history. And then I kind of got into teaching after that, not in schools, but in small studios and stuff outside of schools for kids who didn't have art available to them in schools or just wanted that little bit of extra practice. And so it kind of launched me into where I am now.
And you have this interesting educational background. I believe we were chatting one time, and I was pleased to say, well, we're upping our liberal arts presence here at Carolina Museum of the Marine. And how do you apply what you know here?
It's been interesting, I have to say. I don't have a very wide military history background. I am married to a Marine, so of course I do learn things. But I think it actually has been really great because I'm taking in so much knowledge from everybody else and learning how to fit in my little, tidbits here and there of the things I've learned over the years to make this, I think it offers a great connection to the community side of things. And especially working with you on the education forum, is figuring out how to apply what I learned in my master's, taking art and design or whatever it may be and applying that to education. So it really has been helpful to have that education and be able to use that here.
Well, it's a great, it's a great experience to, you're learning. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, what you're doing very interestingly, I think, is you're making your job.
Yes.
You're sort of, which is a really good thing to be able to do, to craft.
Yeah, it's a great, very unique opportunity that I think a lot of people would want or hope for. And it's more than I could have hoped for. I just wanted to be part of a museum or be part of an institution because I've always loved them. But here, it was such a unique opportunity because they're like, oh, we're still developing this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So we want you here for that and to help us make these decisions for how this, exhibition will look, how that will translate into our education forum eventually. And it's just been amazing. A real dream come true for me.
Well, thank you. We are at this place where really for the first time, there's opportunity aplenty here as we're just really growing.
Yes.
And that is great. And so we should hope for more talented liberal arts folks like you.
I hope so. I always want artists to be involved anywhere they can to make the world more fun and colorful place.
Well, we're happy to have you as an artist in residence.
I love that term. I did put that in my dissertation, actually.
Oh, okay.
So I love artists in residence.
Well, before we go, we have to talk about Jeremy Bentham.
We do have to talk about Jeremy.
Want me to talk about him a bit?
I guess maybe we should give a background of...
Yeah, okay. Jeremy Bentham was an English philosopher. He died in 1832. He's probably best known for a book called Principles of Legislation and Morals. Yeah. He was a utilitarian, somebody who believed that happiness, which is the goal of a human life, consists in pleasure and the relative absence of pain.
Yes.
Which is not a very Christian way of going about it. But anyway, so... 1832, he died.
Yes. He was a founder of University College London, where I went to school for my master's. And he is displayed, we'll say, at the school as, in his own terms, an auto icon.
Right.
So he donated his body to science someone donated after he passed away. And eventually his surgeon donated his body to UCL. To the school to be on display in his own terms as an auto icon in his original clothing. And they did have his head in there in the case for a while as well. I do believe they've removed that, I think, since I...
Now I've read that inside that suit he's wearing is his skeleton.
As far as I know, that's what they say. So I'm going to take their word for it. But I used to pass him on my way to class.
Wow.
So it was quite interesting. But I do think he had some really interesting thoughts. And something at UCL that they always mentioned was disruptive thinking.
Right.
Which I thought was a really interesting concept. And, there's signs about it everywhere. So it was a good thing to keep in mind as I'm taking on this really philosophical, daunting master's degree to think about, what are the things I've been taught for so long, but what do I really think about them? And is there ways to improve them? And I think that's helped me here a lot. What do I know about museums? What have I learned from them? How can I change that, make it better? And just overall.
That's an interesting and I think important quality for people to develop, and that is to from time to time to think about how I'm thinking.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Question yourself. Question things around you. How can they be better? How can the community enjoy them more? How can we educate people better?
Well, Kristen Honaker, we're better for having you here.
Thank you
so
very
much
for having me. Appreciate it.